600. So I kind of wanted to break down and give you a lineup of things that I have purchased and what I've spent on equipment so that you can try to understand why I charge what I charge. So for a brand new weed eater, I actually just bought one. It ran me $450. Then I bought an edger earlier this year. That was $600. So we're looking at $1,000 there. And then for a hedge trimmer to trim bushes, those are getting expensive. Last time I priced one of those, it's $700, and I'm gonna need one soon. So that's $1,700 for those three items. A new blower that runs about $600. And so already we're up to about $2,300, and we haven't even talked about the truck, the trailer, or a zero turn. So a brand new trailer like the one I have, I pull a 7x16, I think it is. Brand new, that's gonna run you about $4,000. And I've got a few attachments on mine, like a holder for my my trimmers, for the edger, and then I also got a case to put all my gas cans in and all that stuff. So it's gonna run you a little over $4,000 for the trailer. And then we're gonna go with a truck. So let's say you wanted to buy yourself a decent F-250 or a Silverado, a 2500. If you're gonna get a used one, a good one is gonna run you probably close to $20,000. I'm just ballparking it in my area. So that bumps us immediately up. And then we haven't even got to the zero turn. So we'll go to the zero turn now. It'll be around $10,000. And if you really want to go big and get a big one, like I got earlier this year, I spent $16,000 on that one. So that bumps our price all the way up. We're looking at around $40K for what I'm running as an operation. So yeah, that would just be for a solo guy. Now that's not to mention the backup equipment that every lawn guy has. We all have backup weed eaters or string trimmers. We all have backup edgers. We all have backup blowers. We all have backup trailers, because things break down in this business. When you're running these machines and it gets hot out here in the sun, things are going to overheat. They're going to break down. They need to have brakes. So we've all got backup equipment. And on top of that, I've got a couple of backup zero turns that I use on the regular. I rotate them. So we're looking at over $60,000 worth of equipment. And then on top of that, we're not talking about business insurance. We're not talking about insurances on my trucks and trailers. We're not talking about paying my helpers. All that's separate. So yeah, pardon me for having to charge a premium price to pay for all my stuff. And most lawn guys get this. Most lawn guys are sitting there, you're nodding your head right along with me, because you know that stuff out here is not getting any cheaper. And I didn't even mention the gas that's going in these machines, the gas that's going in my truck. I didn't mention any of that. So yeah, that's why my bottom line price doesn't go under $70 per cut. I don't care if your yard is 0.3 acres. It's gonna be at minimum $70. And you know, if I had a lady that she wanted a price to cut some bushes in half. So let's just say I had to operate the chainsaw. Well, a good chainsaw now that's gonna saw through a pretty decent sized tree. I'm not talking about one of those giant chainsaws that run you, several thousand, but just to buy a decent chainsaw, those are gonna run you around $1,000. Sometimes you'll get one for less, but getting one of those things to cut those bushes in half. So yeah, that's why I would charge $1,100 to cut in half 3 bushes that are all 8 feet tall each, and to take out all these other bushes that she had. So it's just amazing to me that people don't understand all the stuff that goes in to just lawn care, but in every business. So when someone comes to my house and gives me a price for something that I need repairs on, I rarely question it, because I look into their business and I'm like, you know what? They've probably got a lot of overhead too, just like I do. And every business is different. Everybody has their way of doing it. This is the way that I do it. And that's why I charge a premium price, because I'm not just going out to these people's yards trying to rip them off and doing all this stuff, trying to get in and out of there without doing a very good job, because we take pride in our work. We want to do the best job that we can because we want to make people's lives easy. People that can pay for lawn care, the reason they can pay for it is because they have a good paying job and they're able to afford someone to come to their yard, maintain their property so that they don't have to waste their Saturday cutting the grass, or they don't have to have their kid go out there and push mow a 2-acre lot when they could hire somebody to take care of that property, keep it looking clean and neat, so when they do have friends over, they've got neighbors over, the yard always looks good. And so if I had the money and I was in their shoes, I absolutely would pay a lawn guy to take care of my property because it's one less thing for me to take care of. There's so much that other people have going on in their lives, their daily life, their home life, family, the jobs that other people have, that I have. The job that we go to takes up the majority of our time every single day of our entire lives. So if there's one less thing that I need to take care of, I would love to hire somebody to do it. And so that's what I keep in my mind when I'm coming up with prices, when I'm coming up with ways to take care of someone's property. I want to get there, get in, do a good job, and get out so that they don't have to worry if their yard guy's coming today. They don't have to worry, did my yard guy do a good job? They can count on us, they can depend on us because we are going to do a good job. And the last thing I want is for the owner of the house or the person that lives there to have to come out and stay behind me and check on my work every time I show up. That's the last thing I want, because they might as well just do it themselves. If they're having to go behind and clean up my mess, that's just a waste of their time. And that's the fastest way to lose a client, is to have them constantly come behind you and check, say, hey, your guys missed this. Oh, hey, why wasn't this done? Oh, hey, this is not looking so good. Can you take care of that? Like, they shouldn't have to do that. And especially if you're just grass cutting, like, nobody should ever mess that up. That's the hardest thing to mess up, is cutting grass. And I get people in my comments all the time, it's just grass cutting, slow your roll. And you're right, it is just grass cutting. And I'm making very good money off of just cutting grass. So that's why I bump my price up on the big projects, because for one, I'm trying to maintain close to 80 properties. And so that's a lot of taking care of and maintenance, just purely grass. That's not including the bushes that I do at these properties. So yeah, when someone has a big project for me to quote, I'm going to price it accordingly, because I'm going to have to take out most likely an entire 2 days to do a bigger landscape project. And that's cutting into my steady income that comes in with grass cutting. So that's another little tidbit of information as to why I charge what I charge. And I can do all this, I can explain all this, and there will still be somebody that swoops in and says, oh, well, you're still charging too much. You could do it for $40 and get by. Well, sure, I could cut 100 properties at $40 a pop. And then you think, oh man, that's pretty good money. I could do that. Well, you bring that money in and you compare it to those numbers I gave you in the first place, that close to roughly 40 something thousand bucks that it's going to take for you to start your business. That money that you made back is constantly having to be put back in the business. This isn't all profit. Like, when I give a price, I'm taking everything into account. When I say $1,100 to remove 6 bushes and to cut in half 3 other giant bushes over 8 feet tall, to have to cut those in half, take away the trash, haul it off to the dump, take out those 6 bushes that are right up against the foundation of the house. So you've got to be careful not to mess up the foundation, or else there's another expense. But the time that I'm going to spend there, I have no idea the exact time I'm going to spend, because I've gotten into those projects before and it was just in and out quick. Half a day, I'm gone. But there's been other times where I was removing 3 smaller bushes. I was there for 6 hours. You just never know how well or how poorly a bush removal job is going to go. So I take that into account. I'm planning for it to take 6 hours, But for those bushes and to cut those others in half, to clean all that up, get them shaped, get everything looking nice and neat, and on top of that, having to not mess up somebody's yard, as the way the property sits, those bushes are right up against the house and there's a huge steep incline to get up to the property. So it's not like I can back a truck over there. This is mainly going to be shovel work. And so that labor cost, that's also hard to predict. So those are just the little things that people think they know, and those are the ones that comment the most. Oh, you're ripping them off. I know some Mexicans that can do it for $300. Well, sure. I know anybody, whether they're Mexican or not, that can do it for $300. That has nothing to do with it. There's those people that always like to throw in that, oh, the illegals are doing this, that, and the other. Well, that's just foolishness. If there's plenty of guys out there that will do a job for cheap, if they need the money bad enough, no matter if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, I don't care what color, creed, nationality that you are, if somebody needs the money bad enough, go out there and tell them to do it for $300, $400. They'll probably take it because they need the money. But for me, yes, I would like the money. However, I'm not going to cheat myself and cheat the business that I'm trying to continue to run. I'm not going to shortchange that, because my guys, they need to eat. The guys that help me, the guys that I employ, they've got bills, they've got things to take care of, they've got rent to pay. So much other stuff goes into it. So that's why I'm so particular on what I charge, and why I try to charge, like I've said 100 times already, a premium price for a good job. Now, the price that I'm charging, I'm guaranteeing my work. If there's something that we do, something that we mess up, or something you're not satisfied with as a client, I will guarantee I'm going to fix it, especially if we messed it up. Now, if I've had clients do this, they take advantage of that. And, they'll say, oh, well, this is not what I wanted. This is not what we discussed, this, that, and the other, when we actually did. That's why I've begun to get things in writing. Contract, get them to sign it, make sure they know what they're signing, and to specify that scope of work to make sure they know exactly what they're paying for. And once I have that, the contract is signed, I'm in, I'm out, and that's that. And that's the best way to do it, because there's so many people out there that'll try to cheat you. And lawn guys too, I've seen it so many times where different lawn guys will say they're going to do one thing and they don't. And that's how a lot of these people that comment on my stuff, they've gotten burned before. So I totally get it. That's why I don't cheat anybody. If someone gets one over on me, then I just drop them as a client, and that's that. I don't make a big fuss. I don't take them to court. That's just a waste of time. Like, I get half of the money up front. If I get a big project, I'll need to just cover my material, and upon the completion of the job, I want the other part of my money. But other than that, I'm very easy to work with. I'm very flexible. I've got a lady that wants a landscape job done, a mulch installation. She wants to remove old fabric, put in the new fabric, and then install around 12 yards of mulch, I believe it was, about 8 or 9, maybe 8 in the front and then 4 or 5 in the back. And she said she cannot pay it all up front because of a fixed income issue. And so I was like, oh, that's no problem. You just cover the mulch material and the little fabric. And if you can cover that, you can just get on a little payment plan, or you can pay me as you're ready. I'm good with that. And she's a very faithful customer. So I'll do that with her because she's explained to me her situation. And so I'm very flexible. If you cover my material, I'll work with you. But other than that, I'm a very easy person to get along with, very easy to work with. I do my job. I get in out of your property. I don't want to be there any longer than you want me there. So that's why we try to be as efficient as possible, do as good a job as possible. And other than that, I'm just a grass cutter.